Real estate decisions are some of the most important you'll ever face. You need good information from people with local ties and solid experience. That's Lynam Real Estate and Insurance, serving Hancock County since 1884. Lynam offers the most knowledgeable agents and brokers around with expertise in the hospitality industry. We're also a full-service insurance agency, so even after the papers are signed, we're there for you. Local, experienced, professional. We want to be your agent.
When Samuel de Champlain first spied these shores in 1604, he christened them L'Île du Mont Désert, or the Island of the Deserted Mountains. Mount Desert Island, as it came to be called, certainly does appear to be bald-headed when first seen from a distance. The island's barren rocky mountaintops, deep lakes and ponds, and rugged coastline were first known, however, to the ancient native peoples of the area, the Wabanaki, long before any Europeans set sail for the New World. But after Champlain's sighting, it would not be long before others discovered this beautiful place and settled this island and the fishing village known as Eden, the town we now know as Bar Harbor. By the mid-1800s, the island saw its first real tourists. They were the adventurous artists of the Hudson River School, who returned home to New York and Philadelphia with these rich landscapes of Mount Desert Island in their minds, their sketchbooks, and on canvas. It wasn't long before these images drew another group of visitors to Mount Desert Island and Bar Harbor, known as rusticators, who came to enjoy the wildness of this new and exciting place, most of whom roughed it, camping and bunking with local residents, because there were no hotels at that time. That would come later with the discovery of Bar Harbor and Mount Desert Island by the wealthy American and European upper classes. The late 1800s marked the beginning of Bar Harbor's golden era, with its grand hotels. The Rodick House, the Grand Central, and the Marlborough were just a few, and the luxurious summer mansions. They were owned by many of America's richest families: Pulitzer, Ford, Vanderbilt, Morgan. Bar Harbor's high society rivaled that of Newport, Rhode Island. This golden age lasted through the 20s, 30s, and early 1940s, until one day a fire started in Dolliver's Dump and changed Bar Harbor and Mount Desert Island forever. This devastating fire burned out of control for 10 days and took with it many of the remaining grand hotels and summer homes. When the fire was done, over 17,000 acres were destroyed in and around Bar Harbor. From the ashes has grown the Bar Harbor of today, a thriving, robust, year-round community hosting millions of visitors from the United States and around the world every summer. People who are still drawn to that charming Maine coastal town, nestled between the glacial lakes and mountains of Acadia and the rugged coast of the Atlantic Ocean and Frenchman's Bay. Although much of the past has disappeared, a great deal is still preserved in area museums like the Abbey Museum, a celebration of Maine's Native American heritage. The Bar Harbor Historical Society, a collection of old photos, lithographs, and paintings of Bar Harbor's golden age. The George B. Dorr Museum of Natural History at the College of the Atlantic, featuring realistic wildlife exhibits and nature trails. The Bar Harbor Whale Museum, dedicated to the study and understanding of whales and seals common to the Gulf of Maine. And the Oceanarium, where one may learn about Maine's fishing industry, past and present. Bar Harbor's history is also evident in the culture and architecture of the area. Many island residents still make a living from the sea, and their activities provide a source of wonderment for countless tourists who are drawn to the town pier. Lobstermen repairing their traps, weighing lobsters, or just socializing. On some days, big fish draggers tie up at the end of the pier to offload fish and take on supplies. Fancy yachts, whale watching, and tour boats of all sizes, schooners, and visiting cruise ships all add to the ever-changing backdrop of this busy working harbor. The waterfront still boasts the historic Bar Harbor Inn and Spa on Newport Point, and just down West Street, the stately Bar Harbor Club, once host to the cream of America's society, now is a popular conference center and part of the new luxurious Harborside Hotel and Marina. The rest of West Street keeps up its history too. Lovely old houses some year round, and the home of the Maine Seacoast Mission, another Maine tradition. The shore path, which starts at the town pier, affords one a little exercise and allows for a more intimate view of the turn-of-the-century mansions that line the shore. If you continue your stroll down to Mount Desert Street, you'll be treated to many historic churches, the classic Jessup Memorial Library, and numerous old summer homes that have been converted to beautiful bed and breakfasts. Besides its natural beauty and rich history, Bar Harbor offers its guests a diversity of accommodations. World-class resorts, hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, quaint cabins, cottage rentals, and family camping. Something for every taste. There's also much to do. Get out on the water and go whale watching, kayaking, lobstering, deep sea fishing, sailing. Take a nature cruise, visit a lighthouse, or explore the ocean's floor without ever getting wet. Take a guided land tour in open-air trolleys or air-conditioned buses. Try rock climbing with an expert, or rent a bike and cruise Acadia's carriage roads. Soar like an eagle over Mount Desert Island in a glider, airplane, or vintage biplane. Or just grab lunch and go for a hike on one of Acadia's plentiful hiking trails. If you're a golfer, you'll be pleased to know that Kibo Valley Golf Club, the 8th oldest course in the country, sits right at the edge of town on the border of Acadia National Park. Last, but certainly not least, Bar Harbor has a very active YMCA with an indoor pool, full-size gym, a great workout and weight room, and welcomes all visitors. If all that activity makes you hungry, you're in luck. Bar Harbor has dozens of great restaurants. Cuisine ranges from the local lobster and freshly caught fish to dishes with more of an international flair. Choose from Italian, Thai, Chinese, Cuban, Mexican, vegetarian, Indian, all served in a wide variety of settings, from quaint to five-star and everything in between. Bar Harbor's downtown, that once catered exclusively to the rich summer clientele of the past, still retains that turn-of-the-century feel and offers today's discerning travelers a unique mix of goods and services. Maine crafts, art galleries, clothing, home and garden, health products, sporting goods, books, antiques, unusual boutiques, beer and wine tasting, real estate, and banking sprinkled with tasty sidewalk restaurants and pleasant, relaxing oceanfront parks and a quintessential village green that doubles as a hub for the Island Explorer, a free bus service that can take you just about anywhere you want to go on Mount Desert Island and Acadia National Park. The Village Green also hosts many community events during the summer, like band concerts, art shows, and craft fairs. Something else that goes on in Bar Harbor that many people don't know about is world-class research. The Jackson Laboratory, one of Maine's largest employers, is internationally known for its cancer and stem cell research. And the Mount Desert Island Biological Laboratory studies non-mammalian animals to learn about fundamental biological processes. Both institutions invite visitors to come learn more about them. So much to do, so much to see, so much to learn. All of this makes Bar Harbor a distinct destination as well as a wonderful place to call home. But what helps to make it truly unique is that it is bordered on three sides by Acadia National Park, one of America's favorite national parks. Acadia is a special place, created by nature and preserved by man. The park's physical features, ponds, lakes, hillsides, and rocky outcroppings were shaped beginning some 500 million years ago with the movement of earth glaciers and water, creating a natural landscape of breathtaking beauty. In 1901, the summer residents who had come to so dearly love Mount Desert Island formed a public land trust under the directorship of George B. Dorr to help preserve its beauty. George Dorr spent most of the next 40 years accumulating all the land which was to become the first national park established east of the Mississippi. Named for the French heritage of the island, the park was first called Lafayette National Park in 1919 and was later changed by an act of Congress to that by which we know it today, Acadia National Park. Along with George Dorr, no one was more instrumental in preserving the natural character of Acadia than John D. Rockefeller, Jr. His personal donation to the park of more than 10,000 acres added such remarkable picturesque features as Thunderhole and Otter Cliffs. Rockefeller's foresight and financial support created the system of carriage roads, which wind easily through the park, where the dark, cool forests open up to spectacular views. Whether you traverse the trails on foot, or on two wheels, or on four legs, you won't be competing for space here with anyone but resident wildlife, because there are no motor cars allowed on what are fondly known as Mr. Rockefeller's roads. Parts of Acadia are also accessible by car using the Park Loop Road. The classic coastal vistas of Ocean Drive, the serenity of Stanley Brook, the bubbles framing Jordan Pond, the panorama of Eagle Lake, Frenchman Bay, the Porcupine Islands, and the coast of Maine as you ascend Cadillac Mountain, the very top of Mount Desert Island. It is from this vantage point, though some critics don't agree, that the United States is first touched by the morning sun. Although much of the park is easily accessible, to really penetrate into the heart of Acadia, one must use their own 2 feet. A casual trail along a winding brook or a challenging climb up a granite mountain allows you to find solitude. To paddle across the mirror-flat surface on one of Acadia's ponds with a loon calling in the distance is a moment you will always remember. The exhilaration of a dip at Sand Beach, Echo Lake Beach, or the Bluffs. No matter how you do it, get out and find your own little piece of Acadia. Bar Harbor is a town that has stood the test of time and whose people will show you what Down East hospitality really means. Although Bar Harbor was traditionally known as a summer place, it has grown into a year-round destination. The Bar Harbor 4th of July Parade up Main Street, the Rotary Club Lobster Festival, the annual MDI YMCA lobster races at the ball field, and the magnificent fireworks display at the town pier will always be the official start of summer. But come discover the rest of the year on the island. Come celebrate the fall with its art and craft shows and music festivals, when nature's hand turns the green hillsides into a riot of autumn colors. The vivid greens of the Acadia summer dissolve into a backdrop of red, yellow, and orange hues. People come to enjoy the change of season, to run half marathons, and the locals even race their beds down Cottage Street. When the winter's white has replaced autumn's color, life on Mount Desert Island starts to slow down considerably, but it's not without some commotion. Just like summer starts with the 4th of July, winter begins with Christmas, and Bar Harbor celebrates the holidays with some special events of its own. Perhaps the most famous are the Pajama Sale and Midnight Madness, enjoyed by locals and visitors alike. Although the snow closes down most of Acadia to cars, except for Ocean Drive, the rest of Acadia is accessible by simply strapping on your cross-country skis or your snowshoes and enjoying a peaceful adventure into a winter wonderland. Bar Harbor, a place for all seasons.